What do you say, man? Welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm working on my old 1980 Dodge pickup truck that I stabbed a diesel in about 3 years ago. And I am going to put in a gooseneck hitch. I've got a few dilemmas though in doing this project, and let me show you them. The space between here, which is right above that rear axle, on the frame, and the bottom of that bed is tight. Took a straight edge and I put it up against the top of the bed, and I drew a line on the bottom of the straight edge. When I put the straight edge back, I got maybe a 1/4 inch or so in there. So what I've got is I got two pieces of 6 by 6 by 5/16. Set over the frame like so. Now I've got two braces, one there and one there, that rest on the frame. So obviously my brace is too wide. So I will notch this out and slide it over to where it'll fit, and I'll have a good 19 inches of webbing, or whatever you want to call this right here. And then I'll leave it as long as I can on the bottom part so I can spread the load across the frame, because this is a little frame on this truck. But over the hump here, I'm about 6 inches of frame, which isn't a lot. I want this hitch to be as strong as possible, but I'm working in tight quarters, so I can't do a lot of things I wish I could do. I also want the hitch under the truck. I want all the bracing and everything under the truck. And I'm using this old hitch that I picked up off of Craigslist a little while back. And I'm mainly just using its plate. I'm cutting the ball off, and I'm cutting this huge ass rings off for safety chains. I'm going to use something else for that. But once I cut the ball off, I'm going to burn a hole in this plate that this sleeve will fit in. And I will weld the sleeve in there, and this ball is made to drop to that sleeve and pin. And I also drill a hole in that bed between the wheel wells. I'll drill from underneath once I get the measurements, that way I can find it. And everything works right, I'll be able to pull that ball out and not have anything protruding up on my bed when I don't need the gooseneck. And for safety chains, I picked up a couple pretty heavy U-bolts, and I'll drill it and they will just drop down when not in use. I'm also eliminating rivets that are for this shock bracket that goes across, so that my plate will mount flat. For the angle iron to the frame and for the angle iron to the gooseneck plate itself, I'm using grade 8 5/8 thick bolts. I'm going to use 4 to the frame and 4 to the plate, so there'll be a total between both sides. There'll be a total of 16. On the bottom plate here, I'm probably going to weld a framework of to stiffen this plate up a little bit. But the weak part is going to be that 19-inch web that comes across here, because that's all there's going to be holding that 3/8 main plate to it. I don't think it's going to be that weak, but that's, like I said, if I can put some bracing, but there's not much height here to really put some decent bracing up. But we'll do what we can. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting on my plate to notch out for the 19 inches. And if I lay a straight edge across, you get this big ass gap right here. So bolting this angle iron to the frame is a problem, as it won't touch in a lot of the places. So the way I'm resolving that is this 3/8 plate I cut, and it sits right in that bend. So I'm going to tack this plate into here, or weld it in solid. And then I'll drill 2 more holes, then using this hole and this hole will give me 4 5/8 bolts holding that sucker on. Let's talk about the best shoes to wear when welding. Lace-up boots are not the best. The reason being, a piece of hot slag gets setting up on them laces, it'll burn itself through the boot, and then you've got to untie the boot to get your foot out, and that takes a little bit of time, and it'll be hurting like shit in the meantime. I used to wear slip-on boots that I can kick off in a hurry if something were to burn through. But these have got a zipper on the sides, that's okay. So you like my drill press, don't you? Well, that son of a bitch is bad at. Well, that son of a gun is bad. Man, I can't say, can I say ass? That's a pretty cool drill press, ain't it? My boys and me made this 20-something years ago. It's got tons of guts to it, and I got some holes drilled. Putting safety glasses on just to impress everybody. Okay, I have my plate sitting here. I burned off the big D-rings or whatever you'll call it, where the safety chains would go. Now I got to burn that ball off. So I'm going to set that ball, the plate actually, upside down, and I made room on this table to where the ball will hang down through that hole. The challenge I'm going to have is that you got 3/8 plate, but you've also got a small 3/8 plate welded right at the ball. Second plate that's welded to it will not heat up the same. So chances are I'll just be blown back in my face. So we will go ahead and attempt to cut through both plates at the same time. That really doesn't work well. I might have to drill a hole first. Keep this in mind because you can actually use a torch to burn out bolts that are broken off into things. Like you work on a block or something and you break off a bolt, nothing else will get it out. You tried and you tried. You can take the torch sometimes. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go do it. Your chances are you might screw things up. But so if you try something like that, make sure you have a really, really clean torch tip. Make sure your tip's really clean. Put the heat to the bolt, pull the trigger, burn it, let off. If you keep jacking with it, the heat will transfer to the other surface, and then you'll find it'll be a lot easier for it to burn into the threads. And you're still probably going to gouge up the threads a little bit anyways. But it can be done. Just got to be real careful. And if you do wind up heating everything up, let it cool down completely before you try again. Okay, this is it upside down sitting on the table. I was going to burn out the welds, but and then knock the ball out. But that's kind of a pain in the ass. There's always seemed to be a little bit you didn't get. So I'm probably just as well off to mark this and go ahead and try to cut this out, and then the whole ball should fall out with it. I swear, every time I set something down like this and try to mark it, I always move the damn thing. Well, there you have it. There ain't a chance in hell I can burn that out. Let's find out. I got all this nice carpet to catch on fire too. Put your heat to it and move your torch around in circles. Just continue heating it. And he's got transfer through a lot of metal, so it's going to take a minute before it gets cherry red. Get ready for slag to go down your shirt and everything else. And I'm almost certain it's just going to burn through the one plate. I'm on the inside of that white line I scribed. I can probably pull the trigger now. You really, when you pull, oh no, not yet, it ain't gonna do it yet. When you pull the trigger, you really want to pull the trigger the whole way and just burn that baby. Ah, she went through. Great. Move it slowly right on that white line. See that feather popping out? I think I'm running out of oxygen. Try to get her done before I have to change the bottle out. Hey, I think I got her. I think I got a good clean cut, and I believe I saw it drop down. Look at that. Now this is pretty big. I got a lot of filling in to do. This is going to be bolted underneath the angle iron. So the angle iron's 5/16 thick, so this needs to protrude 5/16 above this edge to touch the bottom of the bed. Then whatever thickness the ribs are in the bed, the corrugation, whatever you want to call it, this needs to stick up that much further because I want this flush with the inside of the bed. I'm going to go ahead and tack this in place. I'm not going to chamfer it out because it's already got a huge ass gap. I got them clamps holding it right about 9/16 above the, this is 9/16 above this surface here. I'll throw a tack right by here and on 3 locations across from each other. And hopefully that will hold it in place. Then I'll really try to burn some welds in deep and hot. Okay, I just did a root pass with 6011 3/16 rod. It's a really fat rod. And actually it got a hole in here and a hole here where it didn't quite go, but it filled in these huge ass gaps pretty good, and it filled it in deep, which gives me plenty of room on top to burn in some 7018 really good. So I'm going to start burning some 7018 and try to fill this rascal in. Now what I prefer to do is run multiple stringer beads. I'm not going to do a big fat bead to fill up this big ass gap. I'm going to do stringer beads, get a good penetration, do a bead, chip it, do enough beads next to it, and fill it in that way. That should be stronger. Except for kind of a little bit there, but it filled in pretty good. Kind of went a little bit heavy on this side. But it's cleaning up good. It's going to be fine. Get some good penetration. And I didn't quite close the gap. I ran out of rod beforehand. Okay, this is the opposite side. Haven't chipped it yet, but I've got, like on the other side, my first pass was a deep rooted pass with 6011. Then I needle scaled it, peened it, and then I did 2 or 3 rows of stringers. And this last one's kind of a stringer, kind of a weave. Now I'm going to run some angle iron on both sides to give it some added strength. Well, look at my hitch from the bottom side. Set it on the truck, I tacked it in. Hopefully these welds down here won't give me a problem as far as clearance, so right against the frame. There's the hitch. Here's the completed job.